sorry. I was trying for the Neo song.
Should we do a test?
No, we're actually already recording. I like it.
No, we are not, Whitney. Stop playing. Look at her. She always does that.
Because I think, our show is conversational, so I like getting the little, before we actually know we've started.
It's like a tactic, honestly. It's hilarious because I'm just like, we'll be talking about random stuff, but it helps ease in. So I kind of like our openings. Hi, everybody. Hey, what's up? This is your girl, Triple F Queen Bola here.
Bola's back, y'all. I know that we had what do you call the repeat episode?
Oh, yeah.
A rerun. I don't know why I'm having a senior moment. We had a rerun. Rerun.
You had a me moment. I always get tongue-tied.
A rerun for our last episode because we couldn't get this one out in time. But surprise, this episode is...
We have a guest host. Woo! Our friend, our lovely, beautiful Janie's here. Jane, say hello to everybody.
Hello.
All right, everybody, that's the beautiful Jane. And we are going to be talking about... What are we talking about in this episode, y'all?
In the Heights.
Yes, so she's joining us today. So we're going to blurt out first, and then we're going to talk about In the Heights. And we're doing it because... this month is Spanish Heritage Month, right?
Yes. Yeah.
It's kind of weird. I'm not going to lie. I didn't realize it was
Hispanic Heritage Month.
Hispanic Heritage Month.
And when we say this month, we don't mean October because it's really weird. Hispanic Heritage Month goes from the middle of September to the middle of October.
That's what I was just about to say. I was like, why is it half of the month and then another half of another month? But okay, I'm not going to complain. Janie, say hi to everybody.
Hi.
But we getting it just under the wire because it's going to end October 15th, I think.
Yeah.
And this episode should be dropping the 14th. So we are getting our 2 episodes in. We got Coco.
We had Coco. So if you guys everyone loved that one.
Rerun of Coco. I know.
Amazing, right?
Coco is awesome. And then we had this one, which is not going to get us high of a rating. It's Coco.
We gave Coco like 10. Like 10.
I actually can't remember.
This season we're doing the rating with the glasses. But last season was just like regular
I'm
numbers.
actually going to get like a freaking BlerdTalk website together so that way we can have stuff like what the ratings were because it's I don't remember. We gave it a high score. I don't know.
We gave it a score of something, but we loved it. We gave it rave reviews. Coco was amazing.
Loved
I
Coco
loved
so
it.
much.
Well, did you watch Coco, Janie?
Yeah.
What did you think?
I love Coco. It was so good. The music, oh my god.
I know. Poco Loco.
I know. Some of them oh my god. The visuals, amazing.
Yes.
And the characters. So
I was bawling. I don't know what's up with these animated films that make me
oh my
cry.
god.
Like seriously.
I've been so into animated stuff lately. Like I watched the series ended, but I finished watching She-Ra and the Princesses of Power like a couple months ago. And then I've been on like an animation binge because I showed you guys Centaur World.
Can we just stop for a second? I will refuse to let you talk about Centaur World.
It was like weird good.
Yes, thank you, Jane.
Oh, it was weird and creepy.
Did you continue watching it?
No.
It was a bunch of butts. It was a bunch of butts and half people, half horses, half animals, and I do not understand the obsession.
Literally is.
I do not understand the obsession with butts on that show. Like
it's like it's like appealing to kids as well. Kids are into farts and butts.
Oh my god.
So is the horse a girl?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. See, I like that it's like weird, but there's a girl in it. I feel like guys are always allowed to be weird in like kid cartoons.
This is true. Like you think of like Adventure Time, and it's very
it's
like it's all the guys.
boys.
Yeah.
Whatever. I'm not down. I wasn't down for it. I'm sorry.
Though some of my favorite characters, well, no, I had a lot of favorite characters in Adventure Time, but they had some really strong female ones too, like Princess Bubblegum and Marceline, the Vampire Queen.
Yeah.
Y'all, let's blurt up. By the way, this is BlerdTalk. If you haven't, I forgot to mention that in the beginning. This is BlerdTalk. If you're listening for the first time, hello.
With Bola.
Hey.
And Whitney.
Hey.
And special guest Jane.
I don't sing.
So we do have friends that don't sing, y'all. I'm surprised she just did that to us because I was hoping she would sing with us, but
from the one person who actually like gave us a review on iTunes about the sound quality, I'm sorry. We've only got 2 mics. At some point in future, maybe next year, we'll get a 3rd mic so you can hear our special guests like Jane even better than now. because Jane is awesome. She's actually going to make another appearance soon. I don't know when we're going to have this episode, but she's going to be on another episode soon, you guys. I'm not going to tell you what movie or TV show, but she's going to be back.
So look forward to that, y'all. Jane's going to make a second
appearance. She's getting top billing, returning guest star.
Yay! Clap, clap, clap. All right, so now we're going to get into our segment that we love, and it's called Blerding Out. So this is the time where we just talk about something different that's besides the show that we're going to, or movie or TV show that we're going to review. So we can talk about anything from traveling, from news, books, my obsession with Ben Barnes, everything. Video games, whatever, like water.
Me finishing out Teen Wolf.
Oh my God, Whitney, don't tell me that's your blurt out again. Don't tell me.
I'm going to go first. I'm blurting out about how I have now finished the Teen Wolf series with my mom.
It's so big.
We loved.
This is like the third week of her talking about Teen Wolf.
You've been talking about Ben Barnes for like 4 weeks.
You know
Don't
what?
play.
I'm going to still talk about him today too, so okay.
Y'all thirsty.
I'm thirsty.
Yes,
Ben Barnes, come at me.
I am not the one thirsting after Ben Barnes. He's hot, but I'm not thirsting after him like Bola.
My blurting out is not only just about him. It's about actual things
But anyway,
he's doing. Okay.
I
will
finished
talk
Teen
on
Wolf,
mine.
the series, and it was awesome. My mom, I already told you guys, my mom loved the series, so we had to find something else. She was like, you got to find me something else that I will like as much as Teen Wolf. And I was giving her different choices, and she was not feeling my choices. I was like, well, there's one that I would suggest to you, but I don't know if you'd like it just because of what the title is. It's Lucifer. And she gave it a try. She was like, I don't know if I like it. I watched a couple episodes, and I don't know if I was feeling it. And then I watched episodes with her. I think I make all the difference to her liking it or not, because I also explain things that she doesn't always get during the show. And she was like, this is a really good show. It's funny and everything. So we're now on Lucifer. We finished Teen Wolf, and like it was, I don't know, serendipity. Like right around the time we finished Teen Wolf, I got, because Google knows me so well, they be spying on me. Anyway, I got an article talking about how the creator of Teen Wolf, who is also the creator of Criminal Minds, has like a deal with Paramount Plus, and they're gonna make a Teen Wolf movie with the same characters to kind of like, you know, do a thing.
Is it like a continuation?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Cool.
So excited.
Wait, did the arc not end on a nice?
It ended, and it wasn't like, it was satisfying, is what I'll say. Like, it's really hard to end like an entire series.
Yeah.
Because like we saw how they like did not stick the landing, to use a phrase that I heard them use on Mojo, with like Lost and stuff like that.
Game of Thrones.
Oh my God,
even.
Game of Thrones! It's like they tripped down the stairs and cracked their head open. Oh my God!
Funny. I love that, because it definitely was like a trip. It was like a falling, tumbling down the stairs on that one.
You heard every grunt.
And then they're making like the a prequel
House of the Dragon
with the Targaryens, and I'm just like,
I'm gonna give it a chance.
I don't
We'll
even
see.
want to, because I was so mad about how they just royally
But
screwed
is
up
this
that.
still,
But okay.
what is it, Benioff, and what is...
If it's both of them, I don't want to see it.
But if it's not them, maybe it'll be all right.
It can't be them. I don't think HBO would be dumb enough to do that.
You never knew.
Yeah. But we'll see, you know? We'll see. I'm gonna give it a chance at least.
Okay. Well, Jane, do you have a blurt out for the week? Anything you're watching, doing? It could be like your cat did something. We don't care.
Just something you're excited
Just something
about.
you're excited,
Enjoy.
you're nerding out about.
Yes.
As always, Breaking Bad.
Oh.
I've been watching it with
That's
Alan.
one I haven't watched for some reason. I've never watched Breaking
It's
Bad.
so good.
Is it
Well,
about drugs?
yes,
Yeah.
it's about meth, but in a good way. As much as that can be good. I mean, it's called Breaking Bad. So. But no, they did a really cool thing where they did a movie after the show too. So the show ended really well, but they just gave a movie to one of the characters that they wanted to finish up the arc for. Yeah, it's
Which character?
Jesse Pinkman, the one played by Aaron Paul.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they dropped it on Netflix, and it was really good.
I had no idea that they did it. I actually watched the first season.
Yeah.
but I didn't continue after that. Not because it wasn't good, but it's just because I have show ADD.
Yeah, there's so many good shows.
I know.
Yeah, that
and you
one's
start
worth it.
skipping around, and
That
then you
one's
forget
worth
that there was that other really good show that you wanted to
Yeah.
finish. And then if you're like me, you have a goldfish memory, and you're like, I can't remember what happened, so I'm going to start it all over again.
Yeah, so this is like my third time watching it. So I'm watching it with Alan.
Ooh, like the entire thing?
Uh-huh.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah,
Nice.
I love Breaking Bad.
Alan is her hubby, by the way.
Context.
Nice.
Anything else about the show?
No. I mean,
What do you really like about Breaking Bad?
I really like anti-heroes.
Ooh.
I love me an anti-hero. It's like House and Mad Men.
Oh, yeah,
Like-
yeah. I watched Mad Men. That is one that I did watch all
Yes.
all of the entire show of.
Yeah, just give me an anti-hero. I will love them forever.
I am like, I've got that kind of same vibe, except for I love me, not just an anti-hero. I love me a good villain.
Yeah, she just
It's like-
Whitney just love the darkness. Like she just does. That's what I say.
But like really funny or cool villains, like Ursula from Little Mermaid, love her. Like Once Upon a Time, my favorite characters at the beginning
I
were
love that
Regina
show.
and Rumpelstiltskin,
Yeah.
because they were the most
They were
interesting
They were
ones.
really good.
And then as the series went on, I wasn't as into Rumpelstiltskin because they didn't hit, like, I loved when he was like in the full Rumpelstiltskin kind of thing with
and
the
then he went
face.
full, like, normal.
Yeah, and then I was like, he's not as interested anymore, but loved me some Regina as the evil queen.
Yeah.
You
They
just
gave
have-
her a good arc. Like they gave her like a really good story arc
Mm.
where she became one of the good guys.
Yeah,
Actually,
yeah.
So I didn't even finish the show.
I haven't either.
I stopped around like season 3 or 4.
I
I
watched all of it
stopped-
except for that extra season that they had where the
Season
main
7.
people weren't on it, and I was like, why would I watch that?
I
But
stopped at
I
like
didn't want to
4 or
watch it.
5, I think.
It was good. I loved all of it. All of it was very good. It was very interesting, especially when they made the season where they made Emma the dark one. It was very interesting. Oh my god, I loved it. And her and Hook
Speaking
loved
of the dark
was
one,
really good.
I loved Hades from Disney's Hercules as well.
Yeah, actually, he's hilarious. He's a hilarious villain. I like that.
Oh my gosh, do you watch Disney movies as an adult and see so much more nuance?
Yes!
Like-
Oh my god,
I
love
should
it.
Go
Like
back and
there's so
watch.
much
You know what?
character, like
I forgot to tell you
things that they
guys
have in
about one
there.
of my other blurting out. Like, because I was going down the animation thing, and I stopped at Centaur World because Bola was hating, sipping on that haterade. But
It
I
was
started
weird. It was
another
weird.
one called Kipo and the Age of Wonder Beasts. And it's really cool because it's like animated characters, but like the main characters are black or brown. So it's like, ooh, we get like a different type of protagonist, but it's still like but it's like, still having these like cool adventures and stuff.
This is an animation?
Yeah, a
Hmm.
Netflix animation.
Really?
It's really good so far. I love it.
Okay, we need to see a trailer. Because this is the first time I'm
You
hearing
said
this.
the magic words.
oh.
Bing.
We will watch after this recording, I'm sure.
Speaking of Netflix animation, have you seen Castlevania?
I haven't, just because I've personally never been a Castlevania fan.
Oh.
And when I say that, I guess I'm referring to like the video games.
Yeah.
Like I've tried it before, and I'm
Yeah.
like, this is not my jam.
Well, so I've never played the video game, so
Mhm.
but like I know this story kind of,
Mhm.
and then I watched it, and it was really good. It was
Oh.
dark, but it was
I
really
did
good.
well, as Bola said. I do man the darkness.
yeah, it was really good. But I saw the video,
Mm.
a video of the video game, and I was like, oh, this is a video game, because it's very old and pixelated. I guess like the original.
Are you
ones.
also a horror fan, Jane? Or do you watch horror?
I like horror that's done like well. So,
Have you seen The Haunting of Hill House, the series?
Oh my god, I love that.
Isn't it amazing?
So
Oh my
good.
god, it's
So
like
good. Bola's, like,
perfect.
shaking her head.
It's
She's
like
just don't
perfect.
like
She
it.
don't
To
like
be
that
honest,
you do.
I also really like The Haunting, like the actual movie that came before, is one of my favorite
I haven't seen that.
movies. You haven't seen the original Haunting with
Haunting?
like Catherine Zeta-Jones in there and Liam
No.
Neeson?
No.
It's so
We gotta
good.
watch it.
We should. Bola's not going to watch it with
Without
us.
me, yes. I know this is the time for all the horror and all the
I
scare,
know,
but
which I'm so
not
excited
me.
about.
So the reason why I like Haunting of Hill House was just the acting was so good and
the
like
storyline
the
was
characters
ama-
and
Yes.
the story. It
Oh
was
my
just
God.
so well done. Like
Yeah.
you just like they kind of did this thing where they did a different character or a different sibling for every episode.
Yeah.
And you just like it was like a little movie. It was so good.
It was so brilliant.
really good.
I mean, The Haunting of Bly Manor, which they're not exactly a series, but it's like the same creators. It was good. It was not nearly as good as The Haunting of Hill House.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Midnight Mass yet because it's like the same guy.
Oh, is it the same one?
Yeah,
okay,
it's the same guy. So this is like his one for this year.
I need to watch that.
So I was just curious if you had seen that yet.
Well, Bola, so you don't like anything scary?
I don't like horror really. I just can't.
What about like spooky, like fun, scary?
It depends. Like I can do thrillers and stuff.
She could do Hocus Pocus.
That's campy. That's campy.
That's
but
fun.
I do. I watch that. But
oh my god, I love that.
When it comes to
much.
like exorcisms and like hauntings and
Put a
houses
spell on
and
you,
all that, I can't.
and now you're gone.
Come on.
I'm
Come on
whammy.
instead of-
I was like, what? You threw
I
me
thought it
off.
was come on.
My whammy fell on you, and it was strong,
So strong, so strong, so strong.
Your wretched little lies have all been cursed. When if all the witches working,
I'm the worst. Put a spell on you. And now you're mine.
Look out!
I like that one. I like Hocus Pocus. That one was okay though. Like I could deal with
It
that.
is
but-
no. This is sacrilege. Hocus Pocus is not okay.
I mean,
Hocus
it's
Pocus
very good. Like
is
to me,
amazing.
I mean, for me, when it comes to scary, like to me, that's not scary. And I like some of the like. You guys remember Disney Channel original movies?
Yes.
Like the Halloween ones were
Town.
always really nice. Yes, Halloween Town.
Oh my
I'm not
god.
gonna lie, I loved watching
Memories.
Halloween Town. I liked watching the one where there was like the boogeyman under your bed one.
That one legitimately scared me.
I like that one.
I
Where it was
don't
a black
remember that
guy
one.
that was the boogeyman, and it was like stuff was going on. And then I also liked the one where they were in a hotel, and
I
there was
don't
like
remember that
an elevator with all these different floors. I forgot what that one was called.
Yeah, that's
They had a bunch of different, but they had like an actual
Oh,
movie.
Haunted Mansion.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
never
is that
actually
what
saw
it's
that
called?
movie.
So
Doesn't
I
it have,
loved-
like Eddie Murphy or somebody in there.
Yeah.
Okay.
I loved all the Disney Channel Halloween movies. Like I could do that, but these other ones where there's just like some creep
The
and some
only
nasty, some
thing that
gore.
I ever got Bola to watch was Rose Red.
I don't think I watched that.
You did. We watched it when we were in the townhouse.
Did I finish it?
You did.
I didn't sleep. I didn't run off and pray to Jesus.
You probably did that afterwards, but I didn't see it.
'Cause I don't even remember what Rose Red is about. I don't.
That was the one. I mean, it's another haunted mansion type of thing.
I don't know why I don't remember that. Have you watched it?
No. I don't really like. I'm like you. Like I don't like the super like demonic like possession
can't do
type
that.
movies.
It's more of a ghost story one than
Yeah,
a
like,
demonic type
That's
one.
why Haunting of Hill House. I was like, I didn't watch it for like a whole year. Like I didn't watch it the year it came out. I watched it the
okay.
following-
You showed us one about like a nearly headless person. You showed us one, Whitney, a long time ago. Sleepy Hollow.
Yeah.
Whitney, you showed us that one time, and I watched that.
The one with
you.
Johnny Depp?
Yeah, I think he was in it. Or Sweeney Todd.
Yeah.
Well, he's in Sweeney Todd too.
You've definitely seen Sweeney Todd,
but that one was a musical.
Sweeney Todd is not exactly horror. It's more like thriller. I mean, there's a dude like killing people, but it's like
We watched,
Thriller.
Macabre, yeah.
yeah,
But we did watch
it's thriller, but it's not
We did
horror.
watch Sleepy Hollow
Like,
too.
because like horror, you need either like ghosts or demons or vampires or werewolves
Would Twilight be considered horror?
or
Oh my gosh.
or zombies.
Yes, the horror that is
I mean,
2008.
because they have vampires, I guess you kind
They
of
had werewolves.
semi have to.
Yo,
put it
you
in-
guys.
But
Whitney hates,
honestly,
like, Twilight.
it's like a very, very, very sub-genre of that book series. That is basically a romance
I like
with
Twilight.
a lot of
I like Twilight.
unsatisfied people for most of the series.
Okay, can I blurt out now? I'm waiting for my turn to blurt out.
I'm so sorry. Go ahead. Go.
We're gonna just pivot to something else. Actually, I have like two small things I'm blurting out about. One is big, but one is like small.
Is this
'Cause
going to
I
be
have
Ben
to.
Barnes again?
This one is gonna be Ben Barnes. So, well, Ben Barnes makes me because my baby daddy can sing, y'all. Okay, Jane, he can sing like Penny Drop sang. Okay, have you not heard his new album, his new song?
No.
We gonna play it for you. But so I've been waiting for his new EP to drop, right? So one song dropped already, and it's called 1111. Y'all, guess what? I was looking at my birth certificate today, right? And then I found out that I was born like 11/11 on my
Wow.
birthday. I was like, it's destiny.
Wow.
But you know what? I spent the last like 2 weeks like trying to get him to notice my cover that I did. Because I literally, like, once that song came out, I listened to it all day. No, I honestly am like just a big fan. But I listened to the song all day, so I learned like most of the song. And then I played it and I recorded myself and then I posted it. Because I saw that he was posting everybody doing covers and people doing all this fun stuff to his songs. And so I'm telling you guys, okay, this one was a little messed up. I literally was like chasing him down. Like I sent it to his inbox on Instagram. I tweeted him my video. I tagged him to my Instagram story.
He gonna make you a stalker.
I mean, he has plenty of those anyway. So, but the full EP with the 5 songs, the whole thing is called Songs for You. So the whole thing's gonna be coming out soon, and I'm very excited about it. But yeah, y'all, I was really trying to get him to I just wanted him to see it and be like, oh, post this up too, because I was like, I want to be in your story about me singing your song. Anybody else have a severe fandom? Like, I know there's some people. It's not just me. It's not just me. It's not just me. Okay. Anyway, okay. So the next thing I'm gonna blurt out about, but anyway, Ben Barnes' album's coming out very soon, y'all. Go listen to it.
This thing sounds like it's been coming for a while. You've been talking about
it's out. Right? Like, no, the whole EPs. I was waiting for the song. So 1111 is out already to listen to. But now he has a whole EP with like about 5 songs. So the next single coming out is called Rise Up. So he already posted like a little clip of that and a music video clip. So I'm very excited about that. But I want to listen to the whole thing now. But anyway,
I always wondered about like where that came from, like EP and LP. Like,
I'm not gonna lie, I was listening. I was thinking, I was like, what does EP mean?
Extended play. And LP is long play, but I never understood why.
Do you know, Janie?
I think it had to do with vinyl.
I think
so
you're right.
It was like one side, and then, well, I mean, now I know it as like an EP is like the single of the first album or something.
That's what I assumed it was. Like, I was like, maybe EP just means like your first single. Like, I don't know.
No, because like an EP has multiple songs though.
See, that's true too. So it's like,
but maybe it's like a shorter version. Maybe it's not like a full album. Like, you know, it's not 12.
True.
But
an
maybe
EP's
it's like
not
6.
a full album. You're right. So
I feel like I want to like look this up now.
My baby daddy's got music coming out.
Oh well, I just looked it up.
Oh great! What does it say? Read it.
So an extended play record is a musical recording that contains more tracks than a single, but fewer than an album or an LP record.
So long play LP is like a whole album with like 12 songs or so, and the EP is like a short one. That's cool.
Makes sense.
That's cool. Also, I would also recommend you guys check out Coldplay's and BTS's song "The Universe." It's very good. Yes, they made a music video too, and it's very cool how they mix both of their genres together. Because Coldplay has this unique sound, and I love Coldplay.
I love some Coldplay.
I love everything they do.
But you guys know I never hear anything new.
Yeah, I know. But y'all listen to it. It's BTS plus, like, they speak Korean too. Like, so it's like, it's very cool. The song works. It's called The Universe. I'll play it for them later. All right. So my second Blerd Out is actually something related to this time because everyone has been watching this Netflix phenomenon called Squid Game. You guys, I literally just watched that mess, and I'm telling you, all I can say is the show is wild, y'all. The show is wild. Like, I don't know if that's what I was trying to see if this was qualified as horror because it's like, it's so violent. It's so, but there's no demons, ghosts, monsters. It's just death and violence.
I would say thriller. I mean, if there's like a lot of violence, I would say it's a
survival game show though. Like maybe. It's survival game. It's real life, but it's like they're all in this survival game. It's so interesting and horrible to watch at the same time.
What the actual definition of horror?
You guys, I liked it so
Since
much.
You're talking it up
I really
so
did.
Much, I'll probably actually take a look at it soon.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch it.
Are we still going?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm sorry, y'all. I didn't see.
We've been talking for a while. You see, it had to move to the next.
Gotcha. All right, we can just cut that part out.
Yeah, I'm not going to.
Okay. She does that all the time. Okay, but Squid Game, I'm telling you, I was like, honestly, the main thing was there was so much hype about it. It was all over. I kept seeing memes and everything scrolling through my Instagram feed, and I was like, what is this about? So I finally had time off. Y'all, I watched that whole show, like. And I watched it again with my sister, and I was like, yo, this show is good, but also bad. My sister, because, my sister's obsessed with Korean shows. Yeah. So, you guys, I actually tried to watch one episode in English, dubbed. That was a mistake. So, because I don't mind. I like the purity of watching things in the language and the vernacular and everything that came in. But it just started off in English for some reason, and it didn't change over to Korean. Yeah. So I was being lazy and I just listened to the whole episode. But the funny thing is, it had people in it that I already knew and watched stuff with them in it already. So I was like, I know this actor's voice. And then the voice they chose for him, American whitewash, white bread, it was so terrible. I was like, he sounds so much sexier than this voice they gave him. I was like, why? I had to go back and watch the first episode in Korean.
I do wonder about that sometimes.
The show is so interesting. Like, honestly, I really think like people are going to be wearing like Squid Game costumes, and they even got on Jimmy Fallon this week. So they've been like, they're number 1 in 90 countries.
Right now. Yeah, I think it broke records on Netflix.
It's so unique. Yeah. It's so interesting. I'm like, only Asians can pull this off. Like, only them. Because I was like, if they try to do an American version of this, it'll just be just like, nah. They probably will try later on.
So I heard that like the Korean translation to like English was different, but I'm like,
that was the problem.
I'm not a native speaker, so
yeah. My sister watches so much Korean shows, so she knows a lot of the bits of the language. So when she hears things, she's like, she didn't say this. She basically said the F word. And then they're like, hung doesn't mean that, or oppa doesn't mean old man. She's like, why did they do that? It's not old man. And I was like, Shoshi, we don't have a word for oppa in our language. You know, we just don't. So, because oppa is like a word they use. Oppa. Women, nope, not like that.
Greek.
Yeah.
My Big Bang
the Korean version.
Yes.
It's what
Oppa.
Younger women call older men, or sometimes a girlfriend will call her boyfriend oppa. So the lady in
old dude.
That's what the translation said, and I was
Which
like,
makes sense
no.
because it's not like it's like my old lady.
No, that's why it's not supposed to be like that. It's supposed to be like you when you have an older brother, you would call you have an older brother, like you would call him oppa.
Oh, okay.
They have all these, and like boys would call their older brother hyung, and then
like
girls would call their older sister
a term of
Ani. Like they have honorifics and stuff, but we don't have a translation for that.
Okay.
So that's why they just had to put something there. And she was like, old man, this is like, it's weird. And she's like, he's not old, and he wasn't. But it was like, it didn't matter. You know what I mean? So she caught that, and it was like a little controversy. The show got so big, like, this is the last thing I'm going to point out about it. The show got so big that they had like a phone number, because the way you get to the games, there's like a card that comes, and then there's a phone number on it you have to call. So people actually called the phone number, and it really belonged to an actual citizen. And she's been getting like 10,000 calls, so she's like suing like Netflix, and I was like, people all over the world are calling her. Like, I thought it was just Korea that people are calling, because I was like, you have to know like the Korean like nation code, and I don't know what that is.
I'm thinking to myself, why would you do that? But then
That's what I'm saying. People are so dumb.
From a fandom standpoint, it makes sense because you're like, well, maybe there's an Easter egg. Like if you call the number, then you like.
Why would there be? It's a show. Like, come on.
Sometimes
in like shows in America, like that's why it's always fake numbers.
555.
Actually, you know what? You're right. That's what my sister said. She's like, that's why America used 555, but they use like random numbers, and then it ended up being a real person's number. So she was pissed because she was getting like 10,000 calls because people wanted to join the game. It was like, it's not real. There is no Squid Game in real life.
Okay, now that I would have a problem with. You're calling because you want to join the game.
People called to join the game.
I can understand if you think that there's some kind of like, you know how shows sometimes will do like maybe a webcomic or something else where you can join in or get some kind of like extra story or something by.
That's why I thought it was so weird.
You did like your research paper or whatnot on it. What do you call it when it's
fangirls?
No. When you like across different like media.
Oh, transmedia.
So like kind of like a transmedia type thing.
Yeah, but it wasn't. It was just like they just needed some numbers for the, they just put random numbers, but it happened to be someone's actual number.
Admittedly, that's
people
rather
were doing
irresponsible.
too much.
They should at least have bought a number.
Bought the number.
Yeah.
But my thing is, people were looking that hard because I was like, you see the numbers, but I'm not paying attention to them. People like pause so Netflix actually had to go back in and like cut the numbers out. And I was like, but it's the show that there's actually a number to call on the sheet. That's how you get to the game. Like you get the card and then you have to call them. But it's so dumb. But anyway, the show is, I'm not gonna lie, y'all, it's amazing. But if you're very squeamish, or you really don't like a lot of violence and killing, I don't know if you're going to like it.
Neither of those things are problems for me.
But it is very interesting. I would call it a good commentary on human nature. A very cynical bent, but I think there's prospects for
I do like those
hopefulness.
types of things where it's like delving into. That's why I like what is it, Westworld so much?
Yeah.
Because
I want to watch Westworld.
you haven't seen
You
Westworld.
haven't seen Westworld? My baby daddy's on Westworld. He is. He plays.
Oh my god, you would love Westworld because
I like the first season.
I needed a break from Game of Thrones, so I was like, let's not dive into a really good HBO show yet. Let's wait.
But no, it's so good, and I just love like when you think about it. I mean, it's like it's very thought provoking. It made me even think of well, I guess it's really just like really makes you think about free will and things like that. But it's just the way that it makes you think about that stuff. I thought it was brilliant. I was like,
yeah,
really
and
awesome.
this show makes you think.
shows like
Squid
that.
Game makes you
Yeah.
think about like what human nature, what you really do, like what it, with raw. It's like raw greed, raw determination, like the atrocities you would commit if in an environment where you're able to do these things. What would you really do? And you see some people going wild. That's all I have to say. All for a big ass pot of money. I'm not gonna lie, the money is mind-boggling type of money. And the way the game works is like, the less people there are, the more money's in the pot. So you can imagine what was going on, y'all. But you gotta watch it because the characters in it are very unique and very interesting. And I really, really like them. You might get attached, but don't get too attached. That's all I'm gonna say.
That
But
reminds me
I
of, like,
recommend
Walking
watching
Dead.
it.
You'll like love a character on Walking Dead, and then they're like dead a couple episodes.
Exactly. But I recommend watching Squid Game, y'all. It's actually worth the hype. Because you know how there's a lot of stuff hyped up. Because I told some friends to watch Bridgerton, and they were like not down with it. They're like, why did I watch this? I loved Bridgerton, but
and my mom.
one of my
Bridgerton.
friends, I'll tell you who didn't like it.
But like one of my friend Liqua, she was like, "You think your mom's gonna be okay?" There was that episode 7 where there was just nothing but
episode
having
6
sex
was like
against
episode
walls.
6. They call it episode 6 because it was just a lot.
And my mom was like, "Ooh, I loved it."
Skip that episode.
No, she did not skip it. She
I
was
didn't
like,
want to switch mine. I didn't want to skip
I
nothing.
loved episodes. I was like, okay.
I love your mom.
Admittedly,
Guess
this is
what,
the
guys?
same woman who sometimes your parents surprise you. The same woman.
Yes.
My mom has actually bought 50 Shades of Grey. Like, she's read it.
no.
Your mom is very interesting.
Oh, no.
Guess what, guys? I actually watched that with my mom. It was so, but I sat in the seat and I didn't look at her. No, all 3 of us watched it together, and my mom was like, "Fine."
Sorry,
It
I
was.
raised in an Indian household. No one hugged. Okay, like your parents hold hands, and you're like, "What are you doing?" Oh my god! Like,
Oh my gosh, I can understand, Jane.
Oh my
like,
God, that's hilarious.
it's hilarious. Oh my god! But I
It's
watched
funny,
with my mom.
'cause,
My mom
we
liked
watch,
it.
Like, my mom's like my main movie buddy. We watch all types, and we
yeah,
have
you
similar
guys are
tastes.
tight.
Yeah. So, but when it gets like to the awkward scene, it's just like full on eye contact for the screen. Do not look
I
to the
know,
left.
I
Do not look
know.
at your parent.
I know, but now my mom's
All of a
cool.
sudden, your hands are just so interesting.
Yeah, but
I
I'm not
know,
gonna lie,
You
Squid
gotta
Game.
pretend like you're
I'm
not
not
interested
watching
in the
it.
scene.
Squid Game, my mom can't watch because she would not like the killing. It was so much death happening, like every other episode. Somebody was getting shot, so just terrible stuff was happening in that
Maybe I
whole
should tell
show.
my brother about this. He's not usually into like. Well, I don't.
He can
think
watch
he's
the dub if
into-
he don't like the subtitles.
Maybe.
He can listen to it in
'Cause
dub.
he's
Most of
also
the people
tried to
watch
get me
it.
into Ozark, which I did watch, and it is
Yes,
good.
people were talking about Ozark too
But
at work.
it's not exactly my jam. It's a good show, but it's not the genre that usually.
What genre is it?
It's
Is it just like
I feel a
old white
sister
people in the
show
woods?
of, like, Breaking Bad, but, like, it's
Yeah,
a
but I
concept.
was more I
So
was more
old white people in the
interested
woods.
in
Yeah.
Breaking Bad than Ozark. But maybe it's just I don't know what it is. I haven't finished it yet. I do plan on finishing it because it's actually really good. It's just
I feel like that is definitely like a mood of like just darkness the
Mm.
entire time. Whereas Breaking Bad's like that, but it's like there's like weird comedic moments and like
maybe it is.
weird.
Maybe it's
different-
also the cinematography too, because like
It's all in that blue filter. Like
Mm,
all
yes,
the whole
yes,
thing.
yes.
So it's very like just
down.
heavy.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is.
Travel,
Because like you're
yeah.
right, Breaking Bad I enjoy, but it doesn't. It's like they're in the desert and stuff, the bright
Well,
colors
you
and
got
stuff.
the yellow filter, so it's like
Yeah,
the opposite.
exactly. Whereas like Ozark, everything's blue, and you're like, I'm kind of depressed right now.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
heavy.
Somebody told me to watch Ozark too, but I wasn't like, not gonna lie, I was not even feeling it. I was just like, no.
It's actually a really good show. Like I said, it's just that I just
Eh,
I
okay.
feel like you're not into like darkness for the sake. Like,
No, I'm not. Not really. Unless it's necessary. Like Cruella, would you guys call that dark?
it's a
No.
Disney movie.
Yeah, it wasn't that dark. It was
She's
just
like-
fun.
She's
I
like
loved it.
It
an
was really
anti-hero.
good. It was a nice dark
Yeah.
Disney like level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
They can't do too much dark. It is Disney.
Yeah, I wouldn't exactly call it dark so much as,
wasn't dark to
again,
me.
an anti-hero.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so let us get into the other movie, our main event.
The main event.
All right.
In the Heights, to be honest, you guys, Jane's probably going to carry this episode.
What? Okay, so I was gonna say, what's our first impression? We know what Whitney's is. All right, we're gonna go move on to Jane.
My impression was it didn't leave as much of an impression, which
Let's talk about that. Okay, so my impression is I thought it was nice because, okay, here's the thing. I'm all for people of color making their own media because I felt like I didn't want to judge it too much because I really felt like this was not only Lin-Manuel Miranda's first musical that he ever did, and then this is the movie version of the musical, which might not translate as well, but it was his story, like his life. Like he was talking about his experience in the in New York, where they live in the Heights. I think Washington Heights, as they called it. Yeah, so I was like, to me, I respect him for putting that story out there because like that's his life story, like that's his people story, and so I had to give it a level of respect because I'm always toting and talking about how like for us and people of color, especially Black and Africans especially, I'm always like, well, we need an African in the Heights, you know, in Niger Heights or whatever, you know what I mean? So I'm always like, sometimes people won't come across because it's not their culture. You know what I mean?
I get you.
So I understood that. So I respected it for it being a representation of their culture. It's not a slice of life either.
It's not, but we know how like it's moving a little bit more in that like
because there was a lot of scenes happening. Like it was moving, but it wasn't like slice of life where it just ends.
It's just kind of like about people just living their lives, and I'm not exactly
okay. But my impression was, I did think it was a nice, solid musical, but was it as memorable and as exciting and as like it didn't hit me as much as like Hamilton or some other ones?
I agree.
I would,
but again, like
it
you said, it was his first one.
Yeah,
which makes so it makes
but
sense.
It put him on the map though. Like it was, I don't know. It was very huge, and it got him a Tony his first. So I was like, maybe the stage production was better than it being portrayed on the screen. You know, on a movie version. Maybe that would hit better, right? I don't know.
There is something to be said, I think, just about like stage production in general, because the creativity that goes into trying to translate something that usually a movie would use special effects for into something that you do with just like stage magic is just amazing, as long as you're not like totally lazy like they did for freaking Wizard of Oz.
You called it stage magic.
To me, that's what it is. It's like stage magic.
Like,
what's your impression, Jane?
So I really liked it. So I think I felt that way like you both did like when I first watched it, because it was like afterwards, because when you watch Hamilton first, that's your first
exactly.
So I feel like the bar is just really high.
Yeah.
And then you know he wrote like all the Moana songs, and just like that bar is really high.
Oh my God, Moana.
So I expected the songs to be like bomb, like so good, which they were. They were so good, but it wasn't like. I liked a handful of them were really good, but like it wasn't like the whole thing was like amazing like the way I felt about Hamilton. But I listened to the soundtrack like this week, and so like I think I was feeling it a little bit more.
I got you.
Yeah, because there was some awesome songs in it, and there's some memorable portions that I was like, oh my God, I really like this. Like I really love the Paciencia e Fe song. I really love how Paciencia with the one with the older lady.
Oh,
what was her name? I forgot her name. I'm so sorry.
The only person's name I remember was Navi.
Abuela. Let's just call her Abuela. So Abuela's little song when she was going off into the. By the way, if you haven't watched, spoiler alert. Okay,
you guys know every single episode we do.
Don't listen until you know. Don't listen until you watch the movie.
But it was funny as we were like all three, because we watched it together.
Yeah.
And as we were watching it, in my head, I'm thinking, oh, she's just thinking about, should I stay here in Washington Heights or should I go?
The way they set that up, it was like, you know, she's about to die.
And then, but then as the music keeps going, I'm like, oh no, she dead.
But I love how they tried to incorporate the stage stuff in the presentation.
That was actually really cool.
Because you
I
could
enjoyed
see
that.
it. It was really pretty.
It was.
I found out the woman who played Abuela, she was the original
Really?
character in the Broadway show.
Oh.
Yeah, so she was one of the originals too. Actually, a bunch of people who were in the original were there, but they didn't play their original characters. So a lot of the people who were in Hamilton were in the original one. But yeah,
Cool.
yeah,
That's pretty cool.
That is cool.
I liked it. I feel like it was a perfect musical for like the summer, and like
yeah.
I was reading a lot about how like it was really good for being like one of the first summer blockbusters, and like how we've been stuck inside, and so it was like this big, happy, colorful like musical about community and like just feeling each other, you know.
I got you. Like one of my
that was
favorite scenes was like when they were at the pool.
Yeah,
I can't remember what the song was, but I just remember I was like, this is a really cool like number. Yeah.
I like the one where they were dancing. I mean, they were always dancing. I like the one in the club. That was like one of my favorite. And then I like the roll call one as well. I call it the roll call because it was like every type of Hispanic person. Like they're like, we're Mexican, we're Colombian, we're Puerto Rican.
The block party.
Yeah, the block. Thank you. The block party one. I really liked both of those, and I just like the pride and everything that was there.
That was cool.
I was feeling that little section.
Yeah. I really liked.
My favorite song.
Okay.
But when they were dancing in the club, I'm like, hey,
I
samba.
like. Is it called Respiro or the one?
Oh yeah, the Breathe, Just Breathe song. Yeah, that one was really nice.
I really that was the one that stuck out to me. Like after watching the movie, like a week or two later now, like I still remember that one and how pretty it was.
Yeah.
And how
I remember.
liked that.
I'm not gonna lie. I remember he got some flack for this movie because people that were Afro-Latino felt like he did not represent them well. Or like he was mad that they were not in there or represented at all. He was like, there was definitely a lot of Afro-Latinos in New York in that region.
Oh, yeah.
And then a lot of them came at him. And he actually decided to, like, what I like that Lynn, he didn't, like, back away from it. He was like, you know what? I recognize this is an issue. He knows, and this came out after George Floyd, so you know people were getting at him. Because it was after George Floyd, and then it was also after, no, just George Floyd situation, and after COVID, people could start going to the movies and stuff. So everyone was still a little heist and sized, and I was like, okay, why are we bringing this up? You know, but it was like, again, he was like, it was an oversight on his part, and he was like, he was going to try to do better. But he at least recognized and said he was sorry to certain people, but that he made a film that he just, you know, that's just what he wanted to make at the time he was making it. So,
and I mean, one of the main characters was like an Afro-Latino. Like, what's his name?
Benny.
So
But I don't know. I don't think he was.
He wasn't Latino?
Yeah.
He was not. Oh.
Yeah.
Black, yeah.
Gotcha.
And I think there was more to his character in the original, like, Broadway musical. Like, there was more to him, like, not being Latino and that being, like, a kind of barrier to their relationship.
Oh, that was why it was confusing me. Because he was, like, in there with everybody else and speaking Spanish and everything, so I just assumed.
And that's the thing with New York. It's like, you might have an area that's, like, full-on Hispanic or full-on Chinese, but you will have some other people living in there. So it's like, oh, yeah, there is a black person that hang out with y'all. Or there is some white people that hang out with y'all. So,
and it's like not like you can distinguish an Afro-Latino person from an Afro-American person.
That's an oversight. It might have been he did not see that many growing up, or it might have just been like it was an afterthought for him, or that I just didn't feel like he should have been attacked that way. But I
don't feel like it either. I was like, I see representations of. Well, I don't know if. It's hard to see if they were Afro-Latino or not because you can't really. There's not like a definitive way to distinguish someone who is Afro-Latino from.
That's a big thing that people are talking about like what is Latinx identity and stuff like that. And so there's like so much more than what's represented, even though like even just getting represented is a big deal. But like there's so much more to it than that. So there's like this whole Afro-Latino community, and you know they're part of it too, and they don't see themselves represented. So
I know because I love this one singer called Amara La Negra. And she is like a beautiful, if y'all just look her up on your phone, you will see. But she is like a dark chocolate girl. Like, she could look like she could be from the Sudan. That's how dark she is. And she has this beautiful fro. It's all natural. But she is full-on Hispanic. And she talks about how she's always getting sideswiped and, like, she's always getting discriminated against. in their community. You know, you see her, Amara La Negra. Yeah. She looks like
gorgeous.
a full-on black. She's gorgeous, and she's talented too. She can sing, everything. But then, because how dark her skin is, she was always getting pigeonholed. She was always getting discriminated against, like not getting opportunities and everything. But she's speaking out for the Afro Latinos, you know. And so I understand that whole thing. But again, I still like that this was still a representation of Hispanic culture altogether. We know it's diverse and stuff. So I just like how Lynn handled it. He just came out there, didn't try to like sweep it under the rug or like bypass it. He tried to own it and like apologize and just be like, okay, well, we'll move forward, you know. So he recognized he did not do that much of that. But I guess that's just not what he saw as much, you know. But I'm not going to speak for him like that. Y'all go listen to him talk about it. He was on the Today Show. Anyway, but so what were you guys' favorite parts of the movie? Like, what things stood out to you exactly besides the song numbers?
As a negative part for me,
Okay,
I mean,
are we doing? I said like, Whitney. I said like.
no, I mean as a negative like happening, not as in I didn't like it, but I was like the part in the story where the lights go, the brownout that happens, and then like they're in the club. I thought they called it a brownout.
No, it's blackout. I don't know what a brownout is.
What is a brownout? Like I've never heard.
I know that there is a such thing as a brownout.
Saying blackout on the screen.
Oh, I thought it kept saying brownout.
Yeah, it was blackout. Like the lights went out.
What would be a brownout? Like
A
let's
brownout
talk
is
about that.
a
I've heard of
drop in voltage in an electrical power system. Oh, I guess it's just stuff dims as opposed to going out. Anyway,
You made that up.
bad.
You made that up.
No, it exists. It exists.
I'm gonna come up with some jokes for what's a brownout.
But anyway,
Okay,
like
a brownout is when you get invited to a party and you're white and you think, oh, this guy invited me, and it's like a full-on just black people. That's a brownout. Or when you try to make Wonder Years but make it black, that's coming out recently, that's a brownout. Okay, I'm done.
I really thought it was gonna be like potty humor, but
So when you're on the tour, okay, no, we're not going there. We're not doing the poopery.
back to Whitney.
Thank you, Jane. But the part, like, when, okay, fine, blackout happened, and Uznavi and what I should bring up IMDb so I know people's names.
Such an interesting name.
I know.
Oh yeah, that was hilarious. U.S. Navy. That was hilarious.
That was like one of I gotta say that's one of my favorite parts.
It was like stupid funny, but it
Yeah,
was like it was so sweet.
Daddy didn't know no English.
That was like
was.
really
Call my son
sweet.
Uznavi.
I'm actually gonna
First thing
say
I
that
saw.
was one of my favorite
That was
parts,
really
like
cute.
finding out about his name. That was really cool. But I love how like when Uznavi and his love interest, Nina, right? Was it Nina?
No, Vanessa.
Oh, sorry,
Yeah.
that was Benny's love
Yeah,
interest,
Benny
right?
and
Okay,
Nina,
sorry, Vanessa. So when like Uznavi and Vanessa are at the club, and then the blackout happens, and when he finally finds her, because like everybody's rushing to try to get out and
Yeah.
everything, and she was like, "You left me," and I'm like, "He really didn't," but she was like,
Yeah,
so
that was kind of unnecessary. It was like,
Yes.
here comes the drama. Like
exactly. I was like, "Whoa, she is really just going full on
Can
him."
I say, even though we're going into likes, what I didn't like was how long it took for them to get together. Like, that's slow. That was some slow burn.
This was
Some
like
people
Twilight levels, you guys.
Yes, it was too long. I was like, why are y'all missing you? They were both mad because they both couldn't talk to each other. Like, y'all would have been together dancing if you would have just said, let's dance together. Instead of, okay, Uznavi didn't ask her out. She asked you to go dancing with her, and you didn't even ask her to dance when you got there. Like, of course, another dude just rolled up and she's like, I'm going to dance with this dude since you don't want to dance.
I guess
So
that
irritated.
was frustrating, but also like I appreciate like that kind of shows that his character is very like he's careful and thoughtful, and he's the one who plans out, you know, going
He's kind
back
of a dork, kind
to
of
the
shy.
DR. Yeah, like I like that he wasn't this like super macho like you know guy.
It was nice.
Engage.
Yeah, that's true.
I guess I'm just speaking from experience. Too much of me engaging and someone else not engaging.
Yeah.
Many other
We're
someone
trying
else's.
to get it together, but
I also like the way the kind of surprise ending, like the fact that you know the whole story when he's like telling the story to these kids. It's like they're on the beach in where was he from?
Dominican Republic.
Dominican Republic, and you think he's gone back there to like restart his dad's what was it, a bar?
It was like a restaurant or something.
Bar restaurant back up, but then you find out that like his friends like convinced him to stay. I mean, they weren't
Yeah.
trying to convince him, but they were just showing him like just how much everyone loved him by like turning his old like convenience store into something awesome. And he's like, oh, this is amazing. I can do all of this, everything I wanted to do, like legacy and whatever wise, I can do it here. And you find out that like the animals, the like beach setting, it's like a mural on the wall.
Can I do a Had They Been Black though? Okay, I'm just saying. So I love how they decided on the day he was supposed to fly out. Let's show him this whole thing. And I'm like, so none of y'all could have done this like a week ago? Had they been black, I'd be like, y'all, I already bought the plane ticket. I'm at least gonna roll up and come back.
I know that was kind of like, you know, magic of the movies.
I mean, but on the other hand, you know, inspiration doesn't always strike when you know, need it.
We gotta be dramatic when it's a musical.
True. But I see what you're saying, Bola. I was like, this plane ticket was expensive. I would have had to come back.
You know,
like, you know what? I'm gonna take a vacation. 7 days.
All his stuff, everything was gone. I'm like, where I'm gonna live? Like, he was out of the house. I was like, I'll be thinking about all that stuff.
Yeah. Well, one thing I did like, so there is a positive. Like, it does exist. So I really like that they took like really intense subjects and like gentrification, like all of this stuff of like poverty and like class issues and Dreamers.
Oh wow,
and DACA, like all of these like really heavy, could be like really heavy topics, but like they made it so like fun, but they still addressed the issues, and it wasn't like wrapped up in a bow at the end. It was still like,
it was really accessible. I like that.
Yeah, it was really well done.
Yeah,
I right. It wasn't like glossed over or anything. And I liked it. I remember me and Whitney both kept commenting about this one thing about, and this one is just like a general issue about dreams, and how he was telling the kids that, you know, some dreams just don't come true. And I was like, yo, that was like the realest thing you can say to some kids. Like, and I'm all for telling the truth, and Whitney sometimes get at me. She's like, you're just a Scrooge with the kid. I'm like, I'm not a Scrooge, but I want them to know the truth.
She told her like her
we're getting into this again.
Was it your nieces and nephews?
Or my nieces. I don't have nephews. Nieces? My nieces.
You told your nieces, or it might have been your cousins. I can't remember. At some point, it was years ago. But she told them, like, they were like, the dog had died. And it's like, it's going to heaven. She was like, no, dogs don't have souls. And I'm like, damn, what the hell?
The fact that you remember that whole speech.
I'm getting real theological.
I was. And then I was like, Santa Claus doesn't exist. I bought you this gift. I want my credit.
The Santa Claus thing, fine. But I'm like, the dog, I was like, damn. I mean, can you?
I might have been born again at that time. I was really intense. Yeah, but I just liked that part because it was like, oh my God, this is like realistic, because like Vanessa's whole thing was that she was an artist and she was trying to get into school and stuff, and it wasn't happening. And it's like her dream had to change a little bit. It wasn't going to happen the way she thought it was. The opportunity wasn't there. But so she just put that dream into something with Usnavi in the bodega, and I thought it was beautiful.
I love that. Okay, yeah. I'm going to like piggyback on that. I did really love the kind of message about dreams, about how... Oh, hold on, guys. Just gotta... Hold up. All right, gonna pause for 1 second. Red. Like, oh, you both, neither of y'all have seen Rose Red. We're back, people. Sorry. Had like the mic stand like fell over, so we had to get that back out.
Technical difficulties.
Exactly. But yeah, like my parents' house, sometimes it's like Rose Red. They like find different projects, so it's like always constantly improving. Or it's like, oh, we're gonna redo the kitchen years ago. And then, like, a couple years ago, we're going to redo the kitchen again. We're going to redo the family room.
Oh, wow.
Like, they keep, like, we're going to redo our bedroom and put down hardwood flooring. We're going to do the whole, like, they just keep finding stuff.
Okay, well, what were you saying before we
that's right. I was talking about, like, I was piggybacking on your thing about the, like, dream, like, the message of dreams. And I thought that actually, you know what? Because you mentioned that, and I remembered how much that like theme really works, I'm gonna bump up by a monocle my score that I was originally gonna give.
We didn't give our scores yet.
We haven't, so
Okay.
I'll tell you guys. But so I love what you were saying about the fact that like dreams don't always come true the way you think they will, but you can have them still come true, maybe just not the way you planned.
Yeah.
You might have to modify it, and I loved kind of the realism about that. But it was like they didn't give up; they just modified.
Yeah, like the salon, like even though, you know, it's not like they could overcome gentrification, they just, you know, they moved on and they brought their business elsewhere, and she's like, you know, kept it going.
Right.
I like the sense of community that was in the that they were really just trying to still hold on to their community, even at the very end, and it ended up that awesome block party scene, which I really liked that part. That was like my favorite part. Carnival, yes, Carnival de Barrio. I really loved that part.
That was my favorite song.
Yeah, because it was just like, I just like them being proud of themselves and their culture, and like picking themselves up, because they've had like a death and then all these issues with the blackout and gentrification. There was just so much. They were just like, do we even have our block anymore? You know, it was like they could have remained in the heaviness and sadness about people leaving, all the issues and everything, but they still like banded together. I just like that part. That was one of my favorites.
I did really enjoy.
So
that.
what did we not like about it? Why we like?
I have one more thing.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, yeah.
One more thing that was so amazing. That food, though.
Oh,
It looks so good.
Yes, it did.
Like, I want it
The food scene,
in my
yes.
stomach.
Oh my god!
Get in my belly.
Yeah, it was definitely a get in my belly moment.
You know, all the scene. Anytime there's like a table scene or a dinner scene, you know stuff is about to go down. Every scene. And it's at that dinner table, stuff went down too.
Okay, now you can go to your.
Okay, so I just wanted to get at what we didn't like about this film. Like, what was it that you guys felt that wasn't resonating as much with you, or your idea of like, oh, what this would be, or your idea of musicals, just whatever.
mean, I can't like say it's not that I liked it. It's just that there wasn't something that stood out or like grabbed me or hit me as much with this. With the I mean, I did really like we were saying, the kind of message about dreams and how you might need to modify them and whatnot. But other than that, and like after watching it, like a day later, there wasn't like specific things that I could like really recall that I was just like, oh man, that was awesome. Like other
didn't
than
stay with you as much.
Yeah, other than Respira, I was like, oh, I remember I really liked that song. But other than that, I couldn't like pick something out, because you know how there are certain movies or TV shows or something you see, and you're like, oh, this particular part was like
Teen Wolf.
Yes,
for you,
like
and Squid Game for
hits, me. You hit on something, and you can tell someone what it was or some aspect of it that made you be like, oh, this is it. Or like, okay, I'm gonna do a spoiler
of what? Teen Wolf?
No.
Oh, okay.
Of what Jane's gonna be joining us for in future.
Oh, okay.
So Promising Young Woman, I talked that movie up so much. I saw it 3 times.
Oh my god.
You watched it 3 times?
You know
I
what?
did.
I remember she kept, it's like she pulled a Ben Barnes thing like I did. She just kept talking about it to the point where I was like, Whitney, I don't understand what this is about. I was not interested in the movie at all.
It was definitely something.
She dragged me to the movie theater. She dragged me to the movie theater, and she paid. That was the only way I was gonna watch it.
You said that you watched it, I was like, this doesn't seem like
It didn't, because I was
I
like,
kept
I saw
talking
the
about
trailer
it.
and I was like, I don't understand. I saw the trailer and I was like, I don't understand what this is about.
That trailer with the song, like making Toxic.
Oh my god, that was one of the things that got me.
like,
Music will get me.
beautiful.
I was like,
chef's kiss. Like,
yes, exactly.
Okay,
That
so
drew me in.
We're getting ahead of ourselves.
Yeah, but like I could tell someone like this movie is so amazing, and it was like, for me, it was the twist. Like, you know how a lot of movies, everything's resolved, everybody's happy, everything's good. The fact that something happens that you don't expect took it from a really good movie to like a great movie for me, because I'm like,
And it left you with questions. Remember me and you still disagree on the ending all the time about that movie.
Well, so are you saying that, I mean, in a musical, are you expecting a twist?
I'm not expecting a twist, but I'm expecting that there's something that I can say, oh, I love that. Like Hamilton, I can say like, oh my God, Satisfied, amazing. The way they did like the turntable thing, the way they like did like a rewind type thing, and like
I guess there's like the like classic musical aspect of it, whereas like Hamilton, everything was like new and like different and like you've never seen it before. Whereas like this was definitely new and they did a lot of different things, but some of it was like classic musical, like kind of predictable in a way.
Yeah.
And so it's not that it was bad, but it was good. It was just
not
forgettable.
Yeah.
It didn't stay with me as much too. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not saying it's not a good sign, but a sign for me that I was like flipping about a movie or something is like, I don't go look up some reviews or interviews. And I watched this and I just went home and I did not look up anything.
Me too. That's what I do.
And I was like, I normally do. And even before we recorded, so I was like, I usually like, let me watch an interview. But I didn't go back. Yeah. And I was just like, it was all right.
I thought about it because we had more time between watching this. Because usually I watch stuff at the last minute, and Bola's like done research and stuff. And this, I had enough time to actually go and like maybe watch a YouTube video or read an article or something about it. But I'm like, nah, I don't really. It's not, I don't know what it doesn't interest me enough to like do that. Like, whereas
I wouldn't say
on other ones, it's just I didn't have time.
And I wouldn't say this was a bad quality movie. Like, this is a nice watch, but I use the word nice. That's my thing. I'm not using my bold vernacular.
I feel like you either have to do something classic, like excellently well, and they did it really well, or you have to be like really, really different. Yeah. And I feel like for Hamilton, they did both. It was like really different because they had like the rapping type thing in there, the hip hop type.
But that was also the stage production, just in the movie form.
That is
this
true.
one is just like the movie form of a stage production. It's like the opposite.
Well, I will say that one shot where they were on the roof, or not the roof, the balcony. That was really cool.
Oh, that was awesome. Yeah.
See, they had some
makes you wonder, like, how did they do that?
So I think that was
awesome.
Cool that they wouldn't get that in the stage production.
But maybe they would. Maybe they did some type of creative way.
Well, obviously, yeah.
In the stage production, but that's like kind of for me part of the joy of watching something like in a stage production is seeing how are they gonna like accomplish this. Like the Lion King, like how are they gonna accomplish like a herd? I mean not the herd. The what do you call it? When
the interpretation of herd.
But what do you call it when they're the stampede? That's the word I was saying. The stampede, like how did they accomplish that? And the way they got it, like the way they interpreted it, it's like this is amazing. Yeah. And the like Mufasa's face when he's talking to Simba after he's died and like Simba's grown up, like how are they gonna accomplish that? Because it's an animation in the movie, but the way they get it done, it's like this is amazing. Like the creative ways that they have to problem solve in musicals is part of the reason I love musicals so much. So I guess you can lose a lot of that if you interpret it for a movie. And it's also, I guess, a matter of adaptation. Like, if you're a stage musical, like you said, Hamilton, they just recorded the actual stage. And it was awesome because you saw, like, what they did to accomplish
these things. Watch that again.
Yeah, I agree. But if you're going to make it a movie and you're not going to record it like they did with Hamilton, you have to adapt it to the movie. You can't just, like, leave it the same because, like, things that work in like a stage production don't work in the movie.
I was laughing just now because I was trying to imagine like Hamilton in a live action. Can you imagine like here comes the general and they're all like in the 1700s?
Yeah,
I feel like it would not be good.
It would be comical. You would just be like, this is terrible.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Terrible.
I think it would probably be
and it would diminish the quality of that music.
Like,
true
History
adaptation
or something like that.
Like Drunk History. Here comes the general.
Yeah, like, it's really comedic. But I feel like that kind of destroys the tone of the whole thing.
True.
How would they do that? Like, that song is classic. But,
oh my gosh, yes.
I just wondered, I don't know if it was the quality of the music or... Because you know how there's some things that just don't hit
music,
you.
Though. Yeah, it just wasn't as I didn't have as many memorable songs.
Yeah. I'm not saying that. Like, to me, I think all those songs were nice quality, like good quality. Because they even mixed it with some rapping, and then there was, of course, a lot of Spanish language mixed in, and I liked all that. But again, I also
really enjoyed the fact that since I don't speak Spanish, I didn't understand a lot of some of the songs because it would be in Spanish. God bless you. But like, I kind of enjoyed that. I'm like,
I appreciated that.
I liked it too, but
Yeah.
to me, I was saying that I don't know if it's the quality of the music or it was the story that something like
I think
didn't
it was probably
live up
story.
to the potential as much. But to me, there was just too much story. There was like a lot going on in general. So
I think I definitely liked it. So it was definitely like one of my top musicals. So So I still really like it, and I think upon like listening to the soundtrack again, it was like it bumped it up a little bit more.
Okay.
But like I think it was just a little too long. Like some of it was like a little repetitive. Like it got to the point where it was like somewhere in the middle. You're like, okay, when is this gonna end? Like, I kind of feel like I've arrived at the story.
I did those off.
Kind of like
I did those a little bit.
So I think it was like a little like maybe it just had pacing issues.
Ah.
Just like in the beginning, they probably could have cut a little bit out, and then like at the end.
Okay. Because they did have like awesome like bomb points where I was just paying attention.
Yeah.
And then there were some parts where I was like, okay, I think maybe.
I think Jane.
That's what dragged it out, and then you're like, okay, I'm ready for this to be over.
I'm not gonna lie, they should have just gotten together way sooner. I was like, y'all still not together at the
I
end
feel
of the
like-
movie.
No, I think that I really agree with you, Jane. I feel like maybe if the pacing overall had been tighter, then we might not have been so frustrated about how long it took them. Because I'm like,
been short and sweet.
I kind of like the fact that there's a story that there's like they're not immediately getting together. I appreciate having a little time before a payoff, but like you said, it just some parts felt like it dragged on for longer than it needed to.
Well, some people said that about Hamilton. They thought like some of the songs could have been cut in the second half.
I disagree with those people.
But I liked
thought that the first time I watched it, but then
like the first half. I was like, no, don't cut any of the first half. The second half, I was like, okay, it's like a whole nother hour.
Yeah.
So. But I liked all the songs. I mean, let's go upstate. And don't even get me started on like the can't say no to this. I just can't say no to this. But my body's saying hell yes. And yes, I just love that song.
I think it was like there wasn't as much there was a lot of variety in the songs. And I think those were the songs that we really liked. So like the more classic musical set pieces of songs, those were like a little bit more forgetful. Yeah.
So let's do a rating now. You guys ready for rating, or there's still more to say?
Ready.
There's still more to say. And I honestly, before we do the rating, I will still say like all the actors, Anthony Ramos, and a lot of the other people, they just did a great job. They did do a good job.
Yeah.
I love Anthony Ramos.
Oh, let's talk about it.
He's so great. Like he's like good at so much.
Yes,
like
rapping,
What else
singing,
have I
acting,
seen him
everything.
in?
no, and he just dropped an album in
Yes, he
June,
did just drop an album.
and it's actually pretty good.
What else was he in?
I mean, he's in like a bunch of musicals, everything that Lin-Manuel Miranda
honestly,
does.
Lin puts him in like everything. Like anything Lin's doing, he will put him in there.
Yeah, but he did. I think now like this was his, one of those main like big breaks. I mean, Hamilton was his big break too, but like now he's gonna be. I think he's gonna be in the next Transformers. And he was in like a Liam Neeson movie recently.
He's dating the girl that played Peggy.
I mean, I don't really consider that a feather in somebody's cap who they're dating.
Yeah.
I mean,
Good points. But yeah, he's just so talented, and like he's just. I don't know. I like his story. Like he grew up in like the projects. Like
actually, I think he's from Brooklyn.
Yeah, he's from he's from New York. He's so New York. And I love that. I love that about him.
He's very New York. I really liked him in this. Usnavi, come at us, especially Jane, but she's married though. So never mind. I'm just joking. I mean it like that. A girl is still single, okay? Anyway, okay, so let's get to the rating, y'all.
Okay.
All right. So, Whitney, you're up first.
So, originally, I was going to give it...
That's my best drum roll. Sorry.
That's okay. We'll go with it. I was originally going to give it 6 glasses and a monocle.
Mm-hmm.
But after you talked about the dream theme, I was like, you know what? I really did appreciate that. And I like the way they executed it on that theme. So I'm going to bump it up to 7 glasses.
Hey. All right. And so I'm going to stick with my original rating from as soon as I watched it and after waiting like a week or so. And I still have the same rating. I'm going to also give it 7 glasses.
Yay!
All right. Okay, Jane, our guest, what do you give it? Please don't say 7 if you don't mean it. If you want more, that's fine.
Honestly, I think it was like a 6 or a 6 and a monocle. So 6 glasses and a monocle. But I think it's a 7 and a monocle. Like a whole point. A whole pair of glasses.
No, not 7 monocles. 7 monocles would only be...
No, 7 glasses and
3 glasses and...
7 glasses and a monocle.
7 glasses and a monocle.
All right.
You get an extra monocle just from Janie. All right. So that's a solid movie.
Yeah.
I still say it's a good watch. Is it my favorite musical? No. But it's a very good watch, and I think it's a good quality music. It's just a solid one.
Solid like a rock.
We really needed it. Like, after this whole pandemic and a year of, like, being away from everyone, it was so beautiful and colorful and just, like, happy.
So hot.
You need something positive, hot, awesome, love interest, intrigue. Well, there's no intrigue, actually. But I just realized, like, that's not this movie. But it was a good watch. I still recommend everybody check it out. If you're someone who really doesn't like musicals, you probably won't like it, but watch something else. But we give it all 7, and then we got an extra monocle here, so it's kind of average 7.
Well, yeah. Once I actually get a website up, we'll actually figure out what these averages are.
Are we averaging them now?
No, we aren't. But on the website, we will.
Okay. All right. All right, guys. So, anyone else got anything to add?
No, I'm good.
We just want to thank you, Janie, for joining us in our talk today. You were so much fun.
Special guest star, Jane.
We love having guests. So anybody wants to come on our show and talk to us? You're on the area, whoever, the 2 people that are listening. I'm just joking now. Come on and talk with us about movies, music, whatever. We would love to have you guys on, okay?
And we will see Jane again soon for Promising Young Woman.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming on, Jane.
All right, everybody. As usual, we say what? Blerd out. Have a great week. Thanks for listening to our podcast. Please subscribe to our show on whatever podcast listening app you use and share the show with other Blerds and non-Blerd family and friends. And if you like our episode, please rate and review us on iTunes.
The intro and outro music is Twilight by Caption. You can find them on SoundCloud, username Caption, spelled Capshun. The show notes are by Bola, Hanson, and the audio engineering is by Whitney Booker.
And you can contact us by email at blerdtalkbw@gmail.com. And also, don't forget to get social, you guys. You can find us on our social media at Instagram and Twitter, with our @handle being @blerdtalkbw. And we've got our individual things going on too, y'all. So you can find me, your Blerd Fashionista, on Instagram and Twitter at BolaStoryB. That's B with 2 E's like the insect. And I've got my own personal YouTube channel, just Bola Sade. That's BOLASHADE. D as in dog, E as in elephant.
And this is Whitney. You can find me at my company, Luminavi Studios. The email address is wit@luminavi.com. That's WHIT@LUMENAVI.com. You can also find me on Twitter at Luminavi Studios.